No, not palm fills. Sometimes, like, I would have gong drum occasionally, like going into a chorus or something. It's a great effect. It's like on synchronicity, the one or two I've seen on which now. The one that goes there, the one going into the chorus, you get like a gong go, boom. This is like as an overdub. So like pom-pom fills when you're playing, don't really try to fit in to what you're doing. You start trying to overdub there. Certain things work, certain things don't. And also, like I was trying to say, this is where the moral fiber comes in. It's pretty difficult to not do your fills when you're playing the rest of it. You hear me cheating, is that what you're going to say? No. I just hear it. I probably played that line. Lucky accident. Lots of those in the music. There's one middle. Yeah. With a loop, with the drums, I crashed around for 20 minutes and found a few bars that I liked. You notice that it was actually real analog. I mean, it was something like 3 years ago or something like that. But it seems like the dim, dark ages before, sequencing really got good and everything. And sampling, it's like before sampling was available. And so I just played that, played, and then I got like 4 bars, or it might even be one. I'll use the microphone. It might even have been like 1 bar that I played. Got the best bar, obviously. Anybody can get a good bar if you play long enough and you choose the best bar and put that in the loop. The typewriter was easy. Typewriter is actually a very fun instrument to play, because you don't have to look where your finger. It's easier than typing, that's for sure. You just type away and overdub, and I think it's about 6 overdubs on the typewriter. I was proud of that. Here's a hand here. I have to respect hands, this is like school or something. I'm not coming. My mother and my dad. Actually, I'll make a confession. Should I? Yeah. Nah, sorry. Next question. Come on. How are you giving it away? Huh?
How do you approach your own writing? Like if you're all
very differently from the way I approach my playing. But for some reason, I've landed in a place where I really enjoy writing symphonic music. Just because I like the big sound of a lush orchestra and everything. And I don't seem to find myself writing big drum parts even. But I enjoy playing rock and roll. Just when I sit down behind a guitar or drums, I want to play heavy metal or reggae. But when I write stuff, it seems to all be like symphonic, like flowing melodies and completely unpercussive, almost non-rhythmical stuff. I don't know why that is. One of the great mysteries of life. There's one close up, I'll be able to hear the question. No, they will not. Equalizer, you can turn on television every Wednesday night. Wednesday night, 10 o'clock, is it CBS or NBC? I forget which. One of the names. King Lear came and went. That's the thing about ballets. You do it, you see it, blink, you missed it. Because you can't, it doesn't show up on record or anything. And releasing albums is like a waste. There's big record companies that have, professional promotion, and it's not really worth their while unless you're going to go on tour and have a hit single and everything. I'm a little bit disillusioned with the recording industry at the moment, because it takes all that extra stuff that you have to do, which I've kind of, I enjoyed doing it for almost 10 years, and I will certainly hanker after it again, but for the moment I'm enjoying not having to go to radio stations and do interviews and stuff like that. So I won't really put it on out. What I'd like to do is get a Wyndham Hill record, where it doesn't have a hit single, it doesn't have anything. People just play it, it doesn't have to need promotion. It doesn't matter if it sells only 10 copies over 5 years. It'd just be a nice record to have on digital, Maybe I'll think of doing something like that. Sure, go ahead. This is a Tama something. I really don't look at the labels that much. That's what Dr. Jeff does. He finds me the right gear to play, and I'm just the drummer. But as for tuning, it's tuned really tight. That's really the big secret, I suppose, is that it's tuned really tight. Something everybody asks me about, you can't see from where you are, is the gaffer tape damping, which is a little technique that I developed of my own. Let me show you.
this is the stuff you play.
To dampen the drums, right? Well, that amount does a certain amount of damping. But if you put a little rib in it there, and another little rib there, that quadruples the amount of damping. It really makes a huge difference. And that is the secret of damping technique. Have a really high, because these drums are very resonant. I think they're like 9-ply or something like that. They're very, very resonant drums. So I can tune them very tight, and they still have a sound, even when they're really tight. And to take the clang off them, these guys here. And don't ask me what I write on the drums. It's naughty. Okay. There you go.
You suggest a basic outfit to start off with as far as composing the drum machine and drum set?
Oh, let's see. What you just, like basics, I suppose you need a Fairlight and synclavier and first while. Just check if you're into it, Joke. The drum box, I used the DMX Oberheim for years, and I was convinced that was the best one. I still think it does have the best sound, but Lynn have actually, I think, caught up with the 9000, and I think the sound on the DMX is still better. It's the bass drum. I mean, like the Every Breath You Take bass drum is good old DMX, click, and it goes. But Lynn, the programming, is a lot more sophisticated. However, the price takes it kind of out of the sort of starting sort of range. And since I've been at it for quite a few years, I probably don't know as much as you do about what the good starting out equipment is. I guess the best thing would be some kind of sequencer that locks to a drum box. And then some kind of, I would recommend a 4-track cassette machine to screw around with. And it's a really useful thing for any drummer to get compositional devices together and to think of yourself as a musician rather than as a drummer, because there's only so much you can do with drums. Drums are great fun to play, like tennis. I mean, I'll never get bored of playing them, but I have, I have an inquiring mind. I want to do other things and other aspects of music really interesting. And since I don't have an instrument that plays like notes, that's where sequencers come in and unlock the whole world of music for us drummers. Another question.
Seeing as how you use overdubbing in the studio, what do you do to compensate for that in a live situation?
Well, live is another story. I get asked a lot how, since we really use studios to the max in the police. We no holds barred. We have no precious things about that's not real or anything like that. We do everything. It's complete studio cosmetics of every kind, of everything, hopefully imaginative use of all this kind of stuff. But live is a different challenge. Live is where you show, separates the men from the boys. And I guess we have to approach everything differently live. Live, on a few tracks in the last tour, we did use a click track, which is quite difficult to play to, but once again, it opens up things. Things like synchronicity, are so complicated rhythmically that actually to hear what the band is doing is very difficult. So I just had a big, really loud hi-hat going click, 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 so I could hear what's going on.
Can I ask you one more question about when you were playing the reggae? A lot of people, when they first think about reggae, you were saying they lay the bass drum on the third beat usually.
Yeah.
Can you demonstrate? I know you're very comfortable with it. That's why I'm asking. I think a lot of ethnic reggae drummers, they don't really stick to that. And when you were playing, can you demonstrate just loosening up with the bass drum and just playing around with it a little bit?
Okay, I'll play a bit on it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
I'm not sure if I understood the question. Basically asked me to play something instead of talking on it. Which one, play or talk?
hang on a second. Let me just finish that. These are brand new drums straight out of the shop. You know what they sound like. They're not nailed down. And this is your typical beer crate stage. It's great. It falls apart. It takes me back to the good old days. cynical. If you make a mistake, play it again. It works every time.